Oh, another weekend with no FPL, no Premier League football. It's horrible, isn't it? But don't worry, we're all in the same boat. Welcome back to the channel. I am Jay London. This is FPL of the day. And in this video, we are going through the ultimate wildcard draft for game week 31. Yes, we're going to be attacking those fixtures, talking about the best players, and whether you're using your wildcard or not, this is going to help, all right? Before I begin, I need to say a massive announcement. We've got something to announce, guys. We have hit 1,000 subscribers. Yes, come on. Thank you so much. I'm going to talk more about this later on in the video. But if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please do that. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button before we've even begun. And let's get straight into it. The ultimate wildcard draft for game week 31. Yes. So coming up in this video, I'm going to go through the ultimate wildcard draft. Depending on your team value, I've got you covered, all right? I'm going to go through the highest team value options, the kind of team that we want, the team that we want to target. And if you haven't got a lot of team value, like me, yeah, and you can't afford them, don't worry, I've got you covered as well. We'll do some alternatives. We'll also go for some juicy differentials as well. And before we begin, if you haven't checked out the last video that I did for game week 31, talking about the ultimate transfers and the people that you need to target, then make sure you do have a look at that as well at some point, because I do go into a lot more depth. So you guys know this by now. We simply cannot do anything until we've had a look at the fixtures. So big shout out as always to Lego Mane. I want to draw your attention to the nice green boxes. Those are the nice easy ones that we want to be targeting. Also draw your attention to the end of the fixture list as well, where Lego Mane has actually put in the games that need to be rescheduled as well. This is why I love his tables. Everything's in there, everything that you need. Make sure you give him a little follow on Twitter as well. So yeah, teams like Chelsea have got Leicester and Leeds to reschedule. They've got a couple of games. Leicester's got a couple of games themselves to reschedule. Everton as well, of course, have got a couple to rearrange. And then yeah, people like Aston Villa have got two. One of them is Liverpool, and obviously we know that they're chasing the title, so that might be a little bit tricky for them. But yeah, get this in your head. Make sure you memorize it. Maybe take a screenshot, visit Lego Mane, follow him on Twitter, do whatever you need to do. But make sure you know that these fixtures are what we're going to be keeping in mind while we build the ultimate wildcard draft for game week 31. Shall we pick some players? Let's pick some players. Okay, so like I said at the start of the video, I'm going to be trying to put together a team that is incredible. The ultimate wildcard draft for game week 31. I do know that some people's team values are going to be different from others. So we're going to start with the one that has the most team value. My team value isn't actually that great, so I cannot afford the team that I'm about to show to you. It's only 1.5 million over budget, I think, or something around those lines. But those of you that have got a good team value will be able to reach this. If you haven't, I'm also going to show you the alternatives and what you can do to get to that as well. All right, let's start with the goalkeepers. Kasper Schmeichel and Pope. Nice double fixtures to be rearranged there for Leicester. Also, Leicester's got a double game week in game week 33. Nick Pope, we know, is going to be playing Manchester City in 31, so that doesn't really count as a double game week, but it does mean that he's going to be very, very busy. Pope's going to be making saves left, right and centre, because we know how attacking Manchester City are. So it might not necessarily be a bad thing. Keep that in consideration. Everton looks a little bit more likely for a clean sheet. Then he's got another double in 33. Norwich sandwich in between that. Watford and Wolves as well, who, yeah, might not be scoring the most amount of goals. So I do like the look of Nick Pope. For 4.5 mil, I feel like he needs to be in your team. I feel like he's the keeper to end the rest of the season, unless you've got a ridiculous amount of money and you can get to someone like Mendy or Edison or someone along those lines. But these two rotate nicely, and as I say, it's going to be setting us up for a bench boost in 36, like I know that you and I and a lot of other people are going to be doing as well. Let's move on to defence. The three big boys in the middle are Reece James, Cancelo, welcome back, and Alexander-Arnold. So Alexander-Arnold is still flagged at the time of recording. Obviously, if he is injured, then we're just going to take him out and put in Robertson. But I cannot ignore Alexander-Arnold. He's been like the standout player alongside people like Salah for the whole season. Watford looks like it could be a nice clean sheet. And bear in mind that Liverpool are really chasing the title now, so they need to be winning like all of their games. Keeping clean sheets, getting those attacking returns, putting in those assists, and Alexander-Arnold is the person for the job. Along with Cancelo. I took Cancelo out to move things around for the last few game weeks. And yeah, it is a little bit of a regret, but at the same time, yeah, Doherty didn't do too bad. But now it's time for Cancelo to come back. For the end of the season, he's been amazing for the whole season so far. 6.9 mil. We can pretty much get to him. Burnley, Liverpool, Brighton, all of those games. We don't know what's going to happen there, obviously, but Man City, we do know, are capable of keeping a clean sheet and scoring goals in every single fixture. So Cancelo, with that attacking threat, has to be in the ultimate wildcard draft. Like, I don't want to see any wildcard drafts without Cancelo in there. If you disagree, let's argue in the comments. We'll do it now. I don't mind. We can do that, yeah. Next to him is Reece James, who's been haunting me for a little while. I wasn't one of the people that had him when he hauled. I didn't have him for the last game week either when he came back and managed to get loads of points. But we're making a wildcard draft. He can be in there. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on the injury. Again, we can downgrade him if we notice that he is going to be injured or we don't have enough team value to get to him. But if I'm picking out of all of the Chelsea boys, Reece James is going to be the most attacking and he needs to be in the team. The enablers are Ben White and Mitchell. Mitchell, because I do like those Crystal Palace fixtures. He does seem to be pretty nailed on in the team and he's 4.5, so that goes without saying. And Ben White, what a guy. I've had him from the start of the season. He's been a little bit sneaky. He's flown under the radar, but he's managed to keep a lot of clean sheets. He's got a lot of points. He's been the best budget, the best value defender this season for me, yeah. Crystal Palace next, then Brighton. We know that neither of those teams are capable of scoring a large amount of goals, and we know that Arsenal are defending quite well at the moment. So this is what the defence looks like. Cancelo right there in the middle, slap bang. James, Alexander-Arnold, either side. Mitchell and White are going to be on the bench, ready to come in as soon as we need them. I like the look of this. Let's move on to midfield. There is only one place to start, and that is with Mohamed Salah. If you're making an ultimate wildcard draft and you haven't got Salah in your team, then you might as well just quit. I don't know what is going on. He needs to be in your draft. I've put him in this one for 31. I will do a team selection video as well a little bit closer to the game week 31 deadline because I might not own Salah because of some complications that I've got in my own team. I know, crazy. That might actually force me to play the wild card to enable to get him in the team. So yeah, Salah goes without saying. Get him in your team. We do not need to discuss him. And then next to him, I've gone for Martinelli. Now, the reason I've gone for Martinelli is for two. One, because I think he's an amazing player. He's been playing absolutely unbelievable the last few games. Like watching him as an eye test man, he looks incredible. Always in the box, always attacking, always involved with the Arsenal attacks. And I really, really do like the look of him. And for 5.3 mil, we can easily get him in the team, right? So yeah, Martinelli is there. I'll be honest, if it was out of him and Saka, I would be going for Saka. Equally because he has been just as amazing. And watching Arsenal games, Saka for me has been one of the best midfielders in the league this season. Like, it goes without saying. He's involved with anything. He can score a goal out of nothing, which we saw in game week 30. Yeah, and he's just an incredible player. He's not that much more expensive than Martinelli. But again, it just depends on your team value. So I've put Martinelli in there because he is affordable for pretty much everyone. And he looks just as amazing as does Saka. And yeah, both of them I reckon are going to get pretty much the same amount of game time. So it's a toss-up between the two. Martinelli's in this one, but if you can get to Saka, he would be my preferred choice as well. All right, next to him is going to be the man on the thumbnail, Kai Havertz. 7.9 mil at the time of recording. That's only going to go up because he is now Chelsea's first nailed on striker. We've seen it. Lukaku's been playing, getting some minutes in the cup games and things like that. But Havertz looks like he has now cemented his place in that Chelsea lineup. And look at the fixtures. Brentford next, then Southampton. We know that both of those guys are leaky. Then we've got West Ham and Everton. Sandwich in the middle is Arsenal, which is going to be like a nice London derby. Both of the teams are going to be up for it. So who says that Havertz can't score? I don't. Havertz could get a goal there very, very easily. So yeah, Havertz is going to be the person in the team. I will show you a nice alternative. We will obviously do some juicy differentials at the end as well. Maybe we'll talk about Mason Mount. But for me, Havertz needs to be the number one Chelsea player in midfield if you're thinking about midfielders. Next to him, I've gone for Barnes. Again, if you can stretch to Maddison, fair dues, go for Maddison or Barnes, whichever one you prefer. But one of those Leicester boys have to be in there. I've gone for Barnes because he looks like his minutes are a little bit more safe. And even though Maddison did score in the last game, and those of you that follow me on FPL of the day on Twitter will know that I should have really put in Maddison, especially if you watched like the last video in game week 30. I was going on about Maddison. I put in Barnes, and then Maddison scored. idiot. But yeah, Barnes is in there for this one because of his price point and because I feel like he's just as good. He's just as likely to be getting the same amount of assists and goals as Maddison in that run up. Anyone that tells you that one is definitely more certain to get more than the other is just blagging. Like, there's no evidence about that really, no matter how much stats and things you look at. Both of them have a possibility of being great. So Barnes, just for the slightly cheaper price, is who I've gone with. All right. And last but not least, in midfield is Gordon, the only Everton player that I'm interested in because he is 4.5 mil. I don't want to be spending any more than that on an Everton player. And of course, he does enable us to do what we're doing with this team. And they do have a double in 31 as well. So if you did want to play him, he was getting ready for a bench boost in 36 as well. Then, yeah, it's nice to just have players that are guaranteed to be playing some minutes. And Gordon looks like the guy who's going to be playing the rest of the season for Everton. And he's been pretty cool, right? So, yeah, 4.5 mil, not much to discuss there. We know why he's in the team. And that is what the team looks like so far. I really like this. I like the look of this defence. I like the look of this midfield. And I'm starting to get a little bit tempted to play my own wildcard. Who knows? Who knows? Let's move on to the forwards and complete the ultimate wildcard draft with, boom, Harry Kane in the middle, Weghorst on the left, Broja on the right. Now, again, if you cannot afford someone like Broja because of your team value, then you can just go down to a 4.5 striker. But I like him, not because of what he's been doing in the last few game weeks, and I feel like he has been overhyped just a little bit, but he still is a very good price point. Yeah, I'm not silly. He's got a double game week in 33, and those fixtures for Southampton look pretty cool as well. So yeah, Broja's in the team. Harry Kane goes without saying because it is his time now. He always does well towards the end of the season. We've seen it time and time again. He's been proving it already in the last few games. I do not want to be going into the last few game weeks without Harry Kane in my team. So he's there, and so is Weghorst. If you don't know why Weghorst is there, then check out the video that I did just recently on the best transfers for game week 31. Weghorst was top of the pile because of those doubles, and I know it does feel like a trap, but just watch the video because I do go into a lot more detail. So there we go. There we have it. That is the ultimate wildcard draft for game week 31. I really do like the look of this. Of course, there are some players missing. I do like the look of Foden, Son, even Kulusevski. Mount would be nice to get in there. Robertson would be nice to get in there, but we cannot afford everyone. So if you have got a nice team budget and team value, this is going to be the team that I feel that you should be able to get to and will do some damage for the last remaining games of the season. If you cannot afford that, don't worry, I've got you covered as well. You can do something like this. I've swapped out the keeper, which I'm going to talk about in a sec, but Robertson has come in and replaced Alexander-Arnold. That saved a nice chunk of money, and Robertson is just as good, if not better, the last few games. So even though I love Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you guys know how much I love Trent Alexander-Arnold, yeah, I'm not as scared with Robertson in the team because, yeah, if Liverpool do keep a clean sheet, we've got that covered, and there's nothing to say that Robertson cannot assist just as many goals throughout the remaining games as Alexander-Arnold can. I've gone for Leno just because I'm keeping an eye on Ramsdale, and it looks like he's still flagged with a little bit of an injury. Of course, if he is back, then Ramsdale would have to be the keeper, and then Leno couldn't go in there. But for 4.5, he's a nice little punt for Crystal Palace if you want to save some money and then switch him out a little bit later on in the season. But if you don't want to go for Leno, of course you can go for someone like Foster. James could go down to a Thiago Silva or even Broja. Like, if you feel like you're not going to be able to field all of these players anyway, then just take out Broja and put in a nice little cheap 4.5 striker like Gelhardt or something like that from Leeds. Yeah. So there are ways to be able to manage this draft if you haven't got enough money in the bank. But I'm sure that you'll only have to do one of these moves. Like, you'll only have to downgrade Alexander-Arnold or your keeper or Broja. I don't feel it have to be all three of them unless you've done like some crazy business throughout the whole season. But yeah, as it stands, that is not far off the team that I've just said. The only difference is that Robertson's in there instead of Trent, and we've gone for a cheaper goalkeeper. So yeah, that can easily be done as well. If you want to go further and you want some nice juicy differentials, then you know me. Let's do some juicy differentials. Let's have a look at this. Of course, I do not expect anyone's team to look like this, but I've just laid it out as a team because it's a lot easier to go through and a lot easier to explain, all right? People like Salah and the defenders that we've spoken about, Harry Kane, they will all need to be in the team. But if you want to go for something a little bit different, I've left Cancelo in there. How about someone like Stones to partner him? Yep, Diaz is still out for 5.2 mil. Man City are chasing the title, chasing the league. They have to keep a lot of clean sheets. So John Stones is a nice juicy pick there. Also a Marty for nice like 3.9. I know Leicester have got a few games to rearrange. You could go for someone like him. I did mention earlier on in the video, if you cannot get to Reece James, Thiago Silva doesn't look too bad. Mason Mount is an alternative if you want to go for somebody different in midfield away from Kai Havertz. Kulusevski has looked impressive since he joined. So yeah, nothing to say that we can't go for him for 6.3 mil. Yeah, like the look of Tottenham's fixtures too. And imagine this, Phil Foden is actually a differential. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, again, I feel like Phil Foden is probably the most nailed person out of all of the people that are a victim of Pep Roulette. So yeah, you could go for Foden. And someone who's very, very interesting is Jadon Sancho. Again, if you missed the video that I did on the ultimate transfers for Game Week 31, go and check that out and you can see why I like Sancho so much. He seems to be the most nailed on attacking Manchester United forward. So for 8.9, that could be a nice little punt there. Mane, if you're feeling ridiculously brave and you don't want to go for Salah, he seems the next person who is nailed in that forward line. If we're talking about Jota, Firmino, Diaz, Salah and Mane, I think Mane would be second. Gone for Adams up front, which is a nice pick instead of Broja if you can get to him. I do like the look of Shea Adams. Mateta's in there as well if you want to go really, really rogue and pick a Crystal Palace forward for 5.2. Nice and affordable, nice and cheap. Doesn't have to play, can sit on the bench. And last but not least, I've gone for Richarlison because, yeah, if we do want an Everton player who is going to be getting involved with those attacking returns, it's probably most likely going to be Richarlison. But out of all the forwards that we've spoken about and the team that we've put together, there's just no space for him. He's very unreliable. But if you're feeling really, really brave and you want to go for a punt and you want to go differential, it doesn't get much more differential than that, does it? But yeah, that's just a little bit of fun. Let's have a look back at the team, see how they would line up for Game Week 31. Pope's going to be in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo and James. I don't feel like defences get much more stronger than that. Gordon, Martinelli, Salah and Havertz in midfield. Weghorst, Broja and Kane up front. Barnes is on the bench, so is White, so is Mitchell. They're ready to come in as soon as we need them. And yeah, I like the look of this. This could tempt me to actually play my wild card because I do want to get in a lot of these players. I do want to get in Havertz. I want Cancelo back. I need to get Salah back in the team. And I am a little bit fearful going into Game Week 31 without Weghorst. Even though he's playing Manchester City, but that Everton fixture, he could actually get some good points there. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the wildcard draft. Let me know what you're saying down in the comments below. Leave a little comment. Let me know, are you going to be activating your wildcard in Game Week 31? Are there any players that you feel are essential to this draft that isn't someone like Son? Because we all know about him, but we just like, what other way, how are we going to get to him? It's either going to be Kane or Son, right? But yeah, do let me know down in the comments below. Before I go, I need to talk a little bit more about what you guys have done. Amazing support. And we need to talk about these subscribers. I need to do some shout outs, man. Come on. So this is the first video that we have recorded since hitting 1,000 subscribers. I wanted to give a shout out to everyone right at the beginning. Obviously, I did mention it, but I wanted to make sure that the information was there first, and then we could get just down to the soppy parts and all of this bit at the end. So first and foremost, I just want to say a huge thank you, because I remember the time when I was on this channel and I started and I was asking you guys to help me with 100 subscribers. That wasn't even that long ago. You guys have completely smashed it since then. We have hit well over 1,000 subscribers, and that is literally because of you. Pretty much like all of you watching this video have subscribed and have helped this channel along the way. That was my target for this season. When I started the channel, to get 1,000 subscribers. We've done it with about 8 game weeks left to go. So a huge thank you. The next target is of course 2,000. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. I am going to try and bring you some live streams. We will do a team selection video as well closer to Game Week 31. And yeah, if we do a live stream, then maybe you guys can get involved and I can actually shout you out personally as well. Let me know. Do you want to see some live streams on FPL of the day? Is it time to start those now that we've hit 1,000? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I hope to see you on the next one. Good luck. Thank you again. You've absolutely made my season, and I'll see you on the next one, all right?